Welcome to the Pittsburgh Dish. I'm your host, Doug Heilman. Does chaos help you to focus? Well, that's exactly what it does for this week's guest, and maybe why over 500,000 people are focused on her on TikTok. Could your Taco Tuesday happen any day of the week? Our friend Anna Anthony has just the place to make that happen. And later, we revisit a classic Pittsburgh recipe for a salad, or maybe dessert. All that ahead. Stay tuned. Thanks to Beano's Deli Condiments for being a sponsor of the Pittsburgh Dish. You may have used their submarine dressing for your favorite sub, but try it on your next salad. The combination of red wine vinegar, oil, and Italian spices gives the salad a zesty zing that it truly deserves. Find more product information on their website at conroyfoods.com. Now back to the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited to talk with you. Would you introduce yourself to our listeners and everything you got going on?
Okay, I am Desiree Legros, also known as Linda, also known as Cooking Comedy Chaos on social media. I am a social media food content creator. I do local Pittsburgh food reviews, and I'm an author of 2 cookbooks.
Oh my gosh, I think you might be the first person I've interviewed that's a cookbook author.
That sounds good. There's a lot of errors in mine.
Well, I think I'll just tell you, Desiree, this show is not about perfection, and that's great.
I think that's what has been helpful to me being successful on social media is I don't have to be 100% perfect. We make mistakes and we overcome it and we problem solve and we move along.
I think that's why I love you so much. And now that I've got to work with you and know you, you're multifaceted. And I think it shows, and you've really expressed a lot of different angles and talents, both on social media and when you and I've worked together in real life. I actually have a little story to tell you, and I don't know if you know this, but you were on a KDKA spot in October of 2022, and I saw it. And I watched you intently because I was on the following week and I was so nervous about going on TV in that kitchen. And I played and paused that spot of yours because I was trying to estimate, like, how big is the island and where do I want people to stand? So I probably watched that episode like over a dozen times.
The train wreck of the episode.
Oh, no, I loved it. I thought that was great. And that got me hooked. I started following you on TikTok and all of the places you are. For folks that don't know your presence on, let's start with TikTok. How many followers do you have at this point? Do you have any idea?
I'm right under 600,000.
Yeah, it kind of blows me away. You're like 500,000 people.
I don't understand it.
I know.
That means there's a whole bunch more train wrecks in the world that have not revealed themselves.
I think it's people that are relating to you. I mean, you're doing something right that people gravitate towards your comedy and towards the way you produce your videos and all of the other stuff you have to share. And then the numbers on Instagram aren't bad either. I think
I think I'm at like 36,000. Yeah. Instagram is hard to grow. It is very, very hard to grow.
It's interesting to hear that about the different sort of social outlets. I think I like Instagram the most, although I started in YouTube and I'm doing less long form video. I'm getting better with my own short form videos.
They're really pushing shorts. It's like, and it's weird to see that YouTube, which has always been a long form content platform, is pushing shorts. And then TikTok, that has always been a short form platform, is pushing longer creation. So you can really see, like, from a marketing perspective, that competition.
Yeah.
And, but I think I like TikTok more because the engagement is so much better on TikTok. I mean, you get 20,000 views. I typically get 2,000 plus likes. If I get 20,000 views on YouTube, I have like 54 likes. I'm like, man, they really don't like me over there.
Yeah. I find the same thing though, like really varying responses on different outlets. Let's talk a little bit about that. The cookbooks. How many do you have out now?
I have 2 out now. Well, technically 3. One is an additional limited edition with another chapter in it. So I have the What's Up Buttercup, and then the Unicorn edition of that, and then the Bang for Your Buck, which it's going into a vault, and it will no longer be on sale until holidays of this year because we're we're going to add more family recipes. And that one I was really proud of because it was a cookbook where so many people have been asking me for my story on TikTok, and it's hard to be vulnerable on the internet. And I really opened up in that cookbook because it's a holiday cookbook. And I think around the holidays, we all struggle so much with the weight and baggage of the pain and trauma in our lives. And I wanted to let people know, like right now with the inflation and the economy the way it is, you don't have to have the gifts. You can make stuff, you know, homemade seasonings from your pantry and put them in a cute jar with a ribbon and a cute note. And really just like get back to the core of making the memories. I think we've all gotten so lost in like the commercial hustle and bustle of the holidays. You lose touch. And we look back and we look at our childhood, like making cookies with grandma and stuff like that. And we're forgetting those traditions that truly shaped us at our core. I mean, that book, it goes over everything. It goes over my disability, loving an addict, losing an addict, traumatic things from childhood, and all of it is just meant, along with these very affordable recipes, to just bring you back to that place that, you know, it's okay not to be okay. And I hope that my stories just inspire somebody on their worst days. You know, just keep going, trust the process, and everything will unfold the way it's supposed to. So that book is very, very personal to me. I love the first book, but that one, like, my pride and joy.
Yeah, you really go deep. And I think maybe that is the secret that I see in you, is you have been vulnerable a little bit before, and the comedy and the chaos that you put out in the world is really a way that channels in a positive platform all of the stuff that you've gone through in your own life, and how other folks can sort of take their experiences and make some light out of it too. But can we talk a little bit about your early life for folks that don't know? Did you grow up in the Pittsburgh region?
No, I grew up in all around Akron, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay.
It was really rough. We moved a lot, very, very unstable childhood. And I started cooking with my dad really, really young. And then I ended up in foster care, and there was no cooking there. And when I came out of foster care and I lived with my dad, that was really when our way to get to know each other after those years that I was in foster care, it came in the kitchen. And growing up with my dad being a pretty hardcore alcoholic, those times in the kitchen were the good ones. You know, I look back now and I think of like the time he put me on the counter and I was wearing one of his t-shirts. Those were always our pajamas. And he was taking herbs out of his McCormick green spice jars from the 80s. And he was putting them on my tongue and describing them to me as I was eating them. And I like the way that he taught me to build flavor was truly, his love language was food. And, you know, every memory I have of my dad cooking together, one of the best memories. So one of my favorite memories was one time I burnt biscuits and we couldn't eat them. And so a couple days later, he was out in the backyard drinking with his buddies, and I leaned down his bedroom window and I was like, "Hey Dad, what do you want me to cook for dinner?" And he was like, "I don't know, Desi, what do you feel like burning?" And I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, all I did was burn the biscuits. But now if he were here today, I would just say myself, because usually that's what gets burnt in the kitchen. With me.
No.
We have a lot of stories there.
Oh, well, but he helped you sort of shape your own love language through food. And also, I love that story about the herbs and developing your palate. When did you actually have a sense that food might be something that you built a career out of?
It was in those years cooking with my dad in foster care, when I came out of foster care, because foster care was like the most traumatic thing in my life. Through that time, you know, when I came out of foster care, we would, my dad would go to therapy with me and my stepmom would go, and we would talk about those things, and you'd just come home and, you know, you're defeated, but you can find laughter and fun in the kitchen. And so we'd come home from these exhausting therapy appointments and start cooking together. We just had like this natural chemistry in the kitchen, me and my dad. And it happened with a few of us kids where you just, you know, there's out of 6 kids, he got 3 that can really cook good food.
Wow.
So I think he did really good. But it was like this, and it wasn't ever like a small amount of food. You know, we were always cooking for 10 people because we had a big family, 6 kids and 2 adults. And then, you know, you had to have leftovers. So it was there. And then my first job, I was a school janitor, actually, my first paid job at 12 years old.
Wow.
So it was through the school, through Akron Public School. And I'd go in after school got out every day and clean the rooms and mop the floors and scrub the toilets. And after that, it was the industry for me, the restaurant industry. And I fell in love with the chaos of it. I thrive on chaos. You know, when the world is burning down around you, I'd be like doing the electric slide, stocking stations, you know, cashing people out at the register. And it's just like one of those things that I think that people that struggle with focus in a lot of areas of life, when you get into the restaurant industry, that's where you find your success because you can't ever focus on one thing too long because there's so much going on. So yeah, I miss it. I miss it so much. I would do anything to work a 15-hour shift again.
Yeah. And you worked in some catering. I know you worked in a couple of like sub shops, Mediterranean restaurant.
Yeah.
And then you had some medical reasons why you're not in the kitchen anymore as a profession. When did the TikTok version of Cooking Comedy Chaos start?
Well, I've always been a little crazy in the kitchen, and I had started an organization and I created Food Club, and it was a cooking club. And through Cooking Club, people would see me like train wreck. You know, we're all on video chat and they'd like, the world is burning down. And they're like, what are you doing over there? It's like, I'm just cooking, you know, I'm just having a good time. And through Cooking Club, because I used to have an old account called Season, Simmer, and Shake It. And I would just mostly do like comedy on there. And but through Cooking Club, I wanted a page that was like solely food. And originally my page, I'd ask people, I was like, I'm going to do like a food page, you know, do molecular gastronomy and stuff. Cause I do love molecular gastronomy. It's just really hard to do a video of because it takes like 4 freaking days. That stuff is don't even get me going.
Oh my God. This is why I love you. Again, I didn't know that you had any love for molecular gastronomy.
Oh, I love it. I'm in a cooking competition in April and there's a mixed drink challenge. Okay. And so I have like 2 recipes planned. We have to test it out. Okay. So the first one is going to be s'more spaghetti. And the spaghetti is like a chocolate noodle infused with Kahlua. Okay. So that's the first recipe I have planned. And then I have another recipe with strawberry shortcake where I'd make like the strawberry noodles with strawberry vodka. And then I'd like take the pound cake and you liquefy it and then you turn it into powder. Right. And then we would have some whipped cream in there. So some whipped cream, vodka infused whipped cream.
My mind is blown. I'll need to see it.
It's going down. Listen, this last cooking competition I only won 2 awards. Where the first one I won 4.
Wow.
And I got my, can I cuss on here? Okay.
Usually
I got my my rear end kicked by a 15-year-old named Aaliyah.
Uh-oh.
She's amazing.
Is Aaliyah coming back?
Aaliyah's coming back. And then there's also another 16-year-old now. Her name's Emily. She aged out of the kids comps. And so now she's in regular competition with all of us adults. Like, man, this younger area of chefs that are coming up, they retain so much more information. Emily taught us that you can grate cheese with a metal slotted spoon. None of us knew that.
Oh my. I could see how that would work.
I told her, I was like, why don't you make a TikTok out of that so you can go absolutely viral?
Oh my gosh.
You know how many people go camping and they're like, I don't have a cheese grater.
I love
slotted spoon.
I love that. You know, as you were saying about these younger chefs coming up, you know, these aspiring cooks. When I watch like the kids cooking competition, they blow me away. And so they have so much more information to learn from, and in so many other different forms of media, like the media you do.
Yes.
Too. So it's pretty insane.
You know, if I could have grown up, I remember a lot of the recipes and stuff that I learned. My dad had subscribed to a recipe book delivery thing.
Oh, yeah.
So they gave him like this big, like 4-inch binder. And I think it was called like Recipes of America or something like that. And every month you would get like 10 new recipe cards delivered.
I think I remember this actually. They were recipe cards, and then you could put them in the little
and you'd
box.
The binder came with like 20 different categories, and you would put it would tell you exactly where. Yeah, those. Gosh, I haven't thought about that recipe
you can
book
pop
in
them
forever.
out. If you find it, if anyone finds one at a tag sale, yard sale,
send it to me.
Exactly.
P.O. box in the bio.
Oh my goodness. Are there any recipes that you have done in recent times that are like your ultimate favorite, or a fan favorite? Do you have like a top couple that just you get
in recent times?
I mean like the last year.
So my daddy's sweet burger, people go absolutely nuts over.
Oh.
It is. I'm from Akron, so Swenson's is the number one burger chain.
Okay.
And they make a sweet burger. And my dad and I spent years trying to replicate it. And the whole time we were using the wrong sugar. You just have to use brown sugar, not white sugar.
Yeah.
And so we grew up with these sweet burgers, and I put it out on the recipe. I think I've posted that recipe like 4 times now. Every single time, dude, people go nuts.
Can you describe for listeners that haven't seen it, like, is it a burger or is it like a sloppy Joe kind of burger?
It's a burger, but they're like 2 patties that are like super thin, right?
Yeah.
You flatten them
like
to like
smashed.
Yeah, super smashed. And then you put them on a griddle and you flip them. As soon as you flip them, you put some American plastic cheese. It has got to be the American plastic cheese. Let me emphasize this. Don't go out and get your fancy little sliced cheese at the deli because you'll ruin my dad's burger and I'll be very disappointed in you, okay? I will never forget. That is unforgivable. American plastic cheese. And it's got to be a double. And then you got to toast the bun in the burger grease.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Pro tip.
It gets like the sweet, greasy, crunchy. I'm telling you, it's magical.
Now, where does the sweet come in?
You put it, you do like 1 pound of ground beef.
Yes.
1/4 cup of brown sugar, salt and pepper.
In the beef.
Beef.
So you've seasoned it this way.
Yep.
Amazing.
And then that's it. And then you just smash those patties super thin and
American plastic cheese.
American plastic cheese.
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you. And then we did the Brenner burger, which is what my husband and I were planning on opening a food truck before I injured my foot and became disabled. So the Brenner burger is that double sweet burger, and it's got bacon and a fried egg on it. And then you take the brioche bun and you dip it in my French toast custard and you make some French toast out of it. And then you take some maple syrup and some cayenne and you drizzle it on top. I'm telling you, it's out of this world. I've actually, that burger took 2nd place in a cooking competition last year.
I can see why. And I'm thinking of that as being like the ultimate like brunch burger with all of those components.
It's so magical. I can't even explain to you. I'd have to make it for you to fully comprehend how magical it is.
That is sounding amazing. Are these recipes in your cookbooks?
Yes.
Okay.
The Brenner burger is in my Bang for Your Buck Affordable Holiday Magic cookbook. And then the sweet burger is in my other 2 cookbooks, because that entire book, it was the first cookbook I wrote, and it was dedicated to my dad because he loved food so much and he taught me, so much of what I know. I can't say everything because gosh darn it, that YouTube and TikTok, they're like encyclopedias of information.
You can YouTube almost anything.
You can. That's how I learned how to do molecular gastronomy, was YouTube.
I'm blown away.
It's so much fun. You should do it.
Okay. Well, let me get my liquid nitrogen and we'll start.
This is Desiree from Cooking Comedy and Chaos, and you're listening to The Pittsburgh Dish.
So let me just ask and bring you sort of closer to home. So now we're in the Pittsburgh region. You live, just outside of Pittsburgh. And are there any like food mentors here or really good friends that you've really gravitated towards that really help you on your food journey now?
Oh, yes, hugely. I've been in Pittsburgh for going on 8 years. Moved here for a district management opportunity with a quick service restaurant. And then, I worked at a sub shop. I worked at Aladdin's Eatery. Shout out to Aladdin's. Best.
Love Aladdin's.
I love it. It's, oh my goodness gracious. When I need Lebanese food and I don't feel like making it, I'm going to Aladdin's.
Yeah.
Or Cedars in McMurray. They're really good too. Oh, Cedars.
Well, I need to know that.
My foot doctor told me about Cedars.
In McMurray. All right.
And I was like, we're going, and it's magical.
We'll have to make a trip.
So yeah, I did, but my most recent job was managing owner for a multi-franchise location. So that was fun. And I forgot the question.
Yeah, that's okay. And that's what it's all about. And I'll edit it out, or maybe I won't. Do you have any other like food, mentors, friends, people that have helped you along the way closer to home now?
Yeah, I have quite a few. My friend TJ is a good friend of mine. He owned a bakery in Jefferson Hills, and it was amazing. His flavors. We just did a cheesecake battle on my page. He won, whatever. But my friend Brandon, he's just a home cook. He loves cooking for his kids. David Galiffa, he's the executive chef at Lab at Armin's Barrels. Janet, she's been huge. She's helped me so much. Like
Janet Logren.
Janet, yeah, Chef Life Hacks. I love that woman. Granted, sometimes it's like really hard to film with her because we can't stop freaking laughing.
I've seen a lot of giggles.
And then you end up with like hours of footage and you're like, I don't want to cut anything out because it's so freaking hysterical.
Yes.
But Eric Miller, Russ Johnson, the owner of the Steel Plate, that dude, I could talk to him for hours about food. Like, so knowledgeable. And yeah, I think those are my closest mentors when it comes to food.
You found a tribe and really made some connections here in Pittsburgh now.
I did. And what I love the most about it is like making those connections. And now two of my good friends that never knew each other before are getting ready to get some things going business wise and grow from that because, you know, we brought each other together over food. And it's such a beautiful thing, especially when like the people that are making these connections, they have the same part of their soul that wants to drive the community to do better and make those connections and grow the community. So it's very beneficial to everybody involved because we're all leading with our heart, you know? And I think that when you lead with your heart, everything is going to happen the right way. That's kind of been my thing in like 2024. Cause I think like becoming an influencer, quote unquote influencer, you feel a lot of pressure to make money, right? Like that becomes your job. And in 2023, I think is when I really blew up a little bit more than I did the year before. And I lost focus. Like, I started pushing products in every video and falling into the trap of influencer. And, I always tell myself, like, I have a house full of stuff. I don't need to keep telling people to buy things because if my house looks like this, other people's house, like, part of the influencing stage is like you're kind of telling people to like find their happiness in items, instead of doing the work to find happiness. So my goal for 2024 was kind of like to back off of that influencing. I'm still going to support my small businesses, Shore Smoke Seasoning, Gindo's, all of my friends that have businesses and amazing products. But as far as like chasing the money, I almost lost my heart and soul in this career last year doing that.
Well, I was going to say, I think what I'm hearing from you too is where is your heart in it? And I see someone that's doing a lot of other things to give back. And
that's my passion.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Tell me a little bit more about what you did last year and some of those sort of give back passion projects that you like to keep close.
So I love to love through food. And growing up when I was in foster care, there was a form of abuse that was held by starving us. For 2 years, all I ate was a hot dog at dinner, a little bit of cereal in the morning, grits or peanut butter and jelly. We didn't have healthy meals. We were foster kids and she fed us. That's all that mattered. So throughout that abuse, I think when I came out and I started cooking with my dad, that became so healing for me that food really absorbed my love language. Like that's just what I do. And so after I became disabled, I'd went through a lot of surgeries and I wasn't getting any better. I'm still, in so much pain trying to walk. My husband and I were on our way home from a trip to Ohio and I started crying and I just said, I feel so worthless. Like I'm so tired of this life of not being able to do anything and being in so much pain. And I said, I need to find something to give back. Like that's always been what inspires me. That's always what keeps me going. And he said, well, babe, you should do it. You really should do it. And at first I wanted to go into nursing homes and work with people that are struggling through disability or help the elderly. But when I was going through Google and I was searching for these charities, this organization named Lasagna Love popped up. And I was like, oh, what's this? And so I went to YouTube and watched a couple videos and my husband was listening to it. And I was like, can I do that? Like we were not in a good financial place. And so my husband being like, well, you could do it, but maybe just like once every other month because it's like, the ingredients are pretty expensive.
It's a commitment.
Yeah. And so I did it and I made my first ever Lasagna Love, and I delivered it and the recipients always stay anonymous. So I've only ever met one of my recipients. And later that night I got a text message from this woman and she was like, we just had a big death in the family and that was just such a comforting meal. Thank you for everything. It was delicious. And I sobbed. I never expected a thank you. you feel good enough just knowing what you're doing. But when she thanked me, it was like it lit this fire inside of me. And I would volunteer as much as I could. But to me, this was a form of being able to use my platform, because I can't deliver as much as I want, but I can tell people about it. And it's so simple. You sign up to be a lasagna chef through their website. You take a couple training videos, like 5 minutes, and it's all about food safety, which is extremely important when you're cooking for other people anyways. Yes. And then, their system matches you with a family in need in your community, and they can be in need for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. There are no questions asked, no red tape. You just make them the lasagna and you deliver it. And so I started telling people about it. And I'll never forget the morning that I had received a message from Lasagna Love, from the founder of Lasagna Love, in my Instagram DMs. And I opened it and she said, this was 2022. She said, hey, we're planning our annual lasagna-thon. It's like a YouTube event. Would you want to come on live and cook with me? And I cried my eyes out. I was like, oh my God, Lasagna Love knows who I am. Like this charity that I love so much. And it was after that first lasagna-thon in 2022 that I was like, you know what, we're doing this. Yes. And I'm going to do everything I can to help support this organization. So this, Lasagna Love started during COVID, during the pandemic. Since then, we've fed 1.8 million people, every single one of them through acts of kindness. So when it came to another lasagna-thon in 2023, Amy from Flower Power, her and I had talked about doing something at a luncheon one day, and she messaged me and she was like, hey, did you still want to do that lasagna thing? Because you can use my studio. Mm-hmm. She has the cooking studio. And I was like, yes, girl. And at first I was like, okay, we'll do 100 people. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, there's a lot of people who always say they want to meet me. Here's your opportunity. Let's turn it in. And it became what it was. We fed, you were there. And I can't thank you enough for coming. That was such a magical day. It was
such a great day. And for anybody that's not familiar with Amy's school, what is
Flower Power?
Flower Power. And it's generally a kids cooking school, but she does do some adult classes at night. It's located up Route 8. And she was so gracious in letting us use her kitchen and all the equipment. We had dozens of volunteers and we rocked out, I don't know how many meals.
500. We fed, it came out to be like 520, but 520 meals and then the local businesses that became distribution sites for us. And we delivered to battered women and children's center, addiction recovery centers. It was a beautiful, beautiful day.
Well, you coordinated it, and you also got, Ragu was there. They donated some product. I mean, you got people to action. And I have to say, I'm so happy that I was a part of it.
This year is going to be bigger and better.
Okay.
This year is like when Lasagna Love told me they had Ragu as a sponsor, I was like, what?
In addition to Lasagna Love, what other goals do you have in mind in 2024?
My goal is to write another book.
Oh, wow.
This one, we've gotten so much into the barbecue world, and we work with True Smoke Barbecue. We're one of their sponsors. So very small sponsor, but we try. We are doing, I say we a lot because Linda lives in my head, it's just like.
Well, let's do a little side moment, because if people, they're not understanding. Desiree, who is Linda?
Okay, so don't judge me, but Linda is definitely my mostest, bestest, imaginary best friend. Okay,
she's not your mother, because sometimes when I do something that's reminding me, I'll be like, okay, Luann, which is my mom, because I'll do something that my mom would do, but that's not you. This is just an imaginary other side of you.
Yeah, I'm a child of the 90s, so Linda's basically my drop dead friend. Okay, just imagine her like that, and I'm sure she looks like Mimi from the Drew Carey show.
Oh my.
But she's nuts. I love her. She lets me get away with a lot of stuff.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. My husband, he'll get irritated. I'm like, you better talk to Linda. I don't know.
So what does Linda have to say about the next book, the barbecue book?
Linda said it's going to be utter chaos. Like she's going to write more recipes. In my books, there's Lindanese recipes, and that's like her own language that she speaks.
Oh my.
So she's definitely writing some recipes, and it's going to be like a barbecue. It's going to be called What's Shakin' Bacon. It's a barbecue cookbook. The chapters are like the way I develop the chapters. I have like low and slow, and then hot and fast, and stuff to like play on the world of barbecue.
I love that. I mean, I love like a whole chapter just telling me if you're going to do anything in this chapter, you got to be giving it like all day or all night.
Yeah.
But this chapter, you can probably get this done in an actual like cook and meal time.
Yeah. Another chapter that's in there, because you know how I always say phalanges?
Oh, yes.
The appetizer chapter is phalange food.
Oh, my goodness.
Like that's this publisher. They let me do whatever I want. And it's, it's okay, let's go with it. Like
that's amazing.
Yeah. So someone told me that I misspelled my own word in the chapter of Lindanese, like the dictionary. They were like, you misspelled onion. And I was like, no, I did not. Linda did. And that's how it's going to stay, because that's what she wanted to put. Like, don't try to tell me, But yeah. So the next cookbook, and then the lasagna battle, lasagna-thon. It's going to be crazy this year. It's like a cooking competition. And our goal is to feed 1,000 people, but it's also going to be a public event at the same time.
Okay.
So we're talking big baseball field, food everywhere, smokers going. It's a smoked lasagna comp.
Wow.
So their entry fee is they have to donate 2 trays of lasagna. Okay. And Ragu is sending all the sauce for that. So no, won't have to worry about that. And then they can compete with any kind of lasagna they want. Seafood lasagna, taco lasagna. Like they can make any lasagna. And then, so all the lasagna is going to be cooked for us. And then they'll just, we assemble the meals and
we ship them out.
Arrange the delivery. Yeah, just like last year.
I love it. What time of year is that going to take place?
It's July 27th.
Okay. So in the deep summer.
Yes.
Now, and I thought you told me something off mic about something coming up in
Home Chef
March.
Throwdown.
Home Chef Throwdown. And this is starting later in March.
Yeah. March 26th is the kickoff date. And basically what it is last year, I was like, I watched this show on Netflix called Pressure Cooker. And I was like, I need a cooking competition. Like, I was like, why don't we do like a cooking comp? And then it turned into this fundraiser for Lasagna Love. And so this year, Home Chef Throwdown will have 10 social media chefs competing every week with very insane challenges. And then you, as the viewer, can go vote on your favorite chef through Lasagna Love's website. Not only does it bring these 10 chefs together and create community and friendship between them, it's also, we do a small business spotlight. So we find businesses within the culinary world. They send out product to every contestant, and the contestant then uses that product within their recipe. That's our way of giving back to the small businesses that really just, they're the ones that support their community baseball team. They're the ones that are Lasagna Love chefs themselves and, make lasagnas for neighbors in need. So it's all about giving back. Home Chef Throwdown. We do the competition, and then at the end, the top 2 chefs with the most votes, they go to a live battle. We've got awards. We've got companies donating winners' gifts. Like, this year is going to be so much bigger and better than last year. And our financial goal is $6,000 to raise. I would love to have 500 new lasagna chefs sign up. And then also the requests that come in. Last year during Home Chef Throwdown, we had over 1,600 requests for lasagna of people that had never heard of Lasagna Love before. So that really showed us that we're breaking barriers and we're breaking that stigma of being afraid to ask for help, because right now we have more people that are suffering financially from going from middle class to poverty that they're scared to ask for help.
Yeah. They've never had to for maybe ever or a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just really, we want to spread the word, Bert. That's what I always say. And it's an honor to be able to use my platform to do such good.
If people want to find out more about these events, the one coming up in March with the Chef Throwdown or the one in July, is it Lasagna Love, the website they go to, or where would they find out more information?
LasagnaLove.org, or just check out any of my pages.
Yes.
And click on my link tree, and it will all, like every form of seeing it will be in my link tree.
Excellent. Oh, I love it. Desiree, it's been such a pleasure having you on. I love at the end of the show to plug anything else or even your websites and social handles, anything we didn't mention for anybody that's interested in finding out more about you.
Oh, so I am cooking_comedy_chaos. And you can find me on all the platforms.
Okay. And Desiree, before you leave me today, I always like to ask everyone on this show a final question. What has been the best dish that you have eaten this week?
This week? Oh, man. That's such a hard question because I just made 2 killer dishes back to back.
Okay.
We're going to go with the French onion pot roast soup that I brought for you to eat today.
Is that you've brought me your best dish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
It was either a tie between that or lasagna casserole.
Oh.
So,
well, that's a pretty good tie. Tell me about this French onion pot roast dish.
So it's my French onion soup that is a little bit different than what you've I'm probably the only person that puts allspice in French onion soup.
That would be different.
But it gives it like an earthiness that you really, really need. And then I also make a pot roast and I shred my pot roast. So caramelize the onions for hours and hours and hours, get them that deep, rich, dark brown. Mm-hmm. And then I use the broth that I build from cooking my pot roast to build my broth in my French onion soup. And then you put the pot roast in there. It's so good.
I cannot wait.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm excited for you to try it.
I'm excited to
You can eat it later today, and then you just need to text me and let me know how it is.
Desiree, thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Up next, the weekly recommend. Thanks to Isley's for being a sponsor of the Pittsburgh Dish. Whenever your ice cream season hits, Isley's has the flavor to satisfy. From their classic vanilla and chocolate to that bring back flavor that they just launched again in stores, chocolate chip with the chocolate jimmies. Go to isleys.com and check out their store locator to find out where Isley's products are sold near you. Hey everybody, so our friend Anna of Anna Eats Pittsburgh is back.
I'm back.
Anna, I always know that you know the places that I should.
I guess so. Yeah.
I know. So I just want to know, you're posting constantly. There's all these great restaurants out there that I probably haven't made it to. A lot of other folks. Can you give us a new restaurant recommendation, something that's under the radar that you really think people should be visiting?
Well, okay. I don't know if it's under the radar, but I know we were discussing Mexican a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that popped in my mind was Las Palmas tacos. Have you been? And they have a couple of locations now, I've realized, but the only one I've ever been to is on Brookline Boulevard.
Brookline Boulevard.
Yeah, in Brookline. Best tacos you'll have in Pittsburgh.
It's usually out on the street,
yes,
right?
It's not even a restaurant.
Right.
You can't, there's no dine-in spot.
It's a grocery store inside.
It is a grocery store inside. When the weather is not like it is today.
When it's not cold out.
Cold and nasty. They do have some seating outside, but you basically pick your protein. First of all, you order inside of the grocery store. You tell them how many you want and what protein you're getting. And then you come out, they make it for you. You put all your toppings on yourself and then you enjoy. It literally is the best taco you'll find in Pittsburgh, the most authentic.
They are so legit.
So legit and so delicious.
All right. Las Palmas.
Las Palmas tacos.
Over in Brookline.
Yep.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You can follow Anna Anthony on Instagram at anna.eats.pgh. This week, we have a classic Pittsburgh recipe from somebody that I know really well, Ellen Kotzen, who you might know from Instagram or TikTok as Pittsburgh Hills. Let's give her a call and talk through this dish.
Hello.
Hey, Ellen, it's Doug.
What's up?
I'm calling because of the recipe that I got from you. It's the classic, right? Strawberry Jell-O Pretzel Salad.
Yes, it is the classic. Definitely.
Literally, did you grow up eating this like as a family? Did you have early memories of strawberry Jell-O?
No, so this is the thing. Like, I'm a transplant. So I
don't know if I realized that.
I went to high school out here. I didn't come here until the 80s.
Okay.
So my experience with this as a salad is later on. And also I love any kind of Jell-O in general, like Jell-O molds or what, I don't even know what you call them all, but like, even like, what do you call it? Ambrosia salads and stuff like that. I mean, is that Jell-O? I think it is.
There might be a package of Jell-O in there.
Yeah. And I've always not been able to replicate really good Jell-O stuff because it's so like, what do you call it? Volatile. Jell-O is like, you gotta like, temperatures and all that. So
yeah, it's a little tricky.
This was for that picture was a July 4th party. And I'm like, we've got to make this. This looks good.
Yeah.
And I think I attempted to do something like it in Syracuse when we were living there, and it came out to be horrifying.
So Ellen, I know you say you're not a food person, but I did see this video of you and your daughter then making this strawberry Jell-O pretzel salad for your 4th of July gathering. Did people love it?
Yeah, people loved it. In fact, somebody else brought a strawberry pretzel salad to the party that we made this for at our house. And I'm like, well, I guess this is the thing,
Yeah.
That's popular, and I've been seeing stuff. I just saw some restaurant somewhere selling these little to-go things of it, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
I love Jell-O.
I think I've seen Curbside on the Run and a couple other places.
That's what I want to go to.
Yes.
We should go.
We should
totally go together.
Yes, we should do it. So
it's like in Fox Chapel or something.
Yeah, I think it's up 28 up that way, Fox Chapel or Blawnox. So this is a classic strawberry Jell-O pretzel salad recipe. I think you and your daughter made one out of Taste of Home. I've seen one on Betty Crocker. I mean, folks can find it everywhere. I'm sure it's in a ton of families, recipe boxes in Pittsburgh.
Right. It's probably very close to each other's recipes.
I bet it is. And so if there's anyone out there that's new to Pittsburgh or listening to our show, we start off with like a crushed pretzel crust, which gives us like that nice salty crunch. And then the middle layer is usually a whipped topping like Cool Whip and cream cheese. And then the top layer is strawberries and strawberry Jell-O. And Ellen, did you all use fresh strawberries or did you use like frozen?
No, we used frozen Giant Eagle.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it within the process when you put it in the fridge, if the frozenness does something better or less. I don't know.
I think the frozen strawberries helps accelerate the Jell-O layer because you do got to wait.
Setting.
Yeah, the setting of it.
Yeah, so like my experience with trying to make anything Jell-O-y is not very good. I love Jell-O so much, and I've seen all these cool recipes, from layers to different cakes and stuff like that. And I don't do well with it. It just, I don't know why, but I don't know how to do it properly. But this pretzel dessert came out very good, and you could see the layers of strata in between, and it worked out great.
You guys did great. Your daughter did great. I think you said she did most of the cooking.
Oh, yeah. She does most of that. She's got it all. I mean, she follows directions. And I have an issue with that, kind of.
I will say when I have made traditional strawberry Jell-O pretzel salad, one of the pro tip things you have to do is the middle layer. It's that creamy layer. When you get it in the middle, you actually have to make sure that you push it all to the sides so that when you do pour the liquid Jell-O on top, it doesn't seep down. And you guys did a great job. Yeah. But,
okay. And do you use a specific kind of pretzel?
I like rods just because I like to smash them in like a bag first, like a zip top bag.
Yes.
But I think you could use anything as long as you.
I think we just used normal pretzels, and we also did smash them in a bag with a hammer. So I mean, whatever a cooking hammer is called.
Exactly. Mine's my rolling pin.
What do you call that thing?
Oh, like a meat mallet.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what we do it with.
Yeah, I love it.
Cooking hammer. Right.
Ellen, thank you so much for submitting the traditional Pittsburgh quintessential recipe, strawberry Jell-O pretzel salad. And for everyone out there that doesn't know, you can follow Ellen on Instagram or TikTok at Pittsburgh Hills. Thanks again, Ellen.
You're welcome.
You can submit your own recipe to the show at www.pittsburghdish.com and look for our Share a Recipe form. Well, that's our show for this week. We want to thank all of our guests and contributors, and to Kevin Selecki of Carnegie Accordion Company for providing the music to our show. We'll be back again next week with another fresh episode. Stay tuned.